Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Thursday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Thursday, my chosen brothers and sisters. So guys, I want to speak really quickly about a few downloads. Some of you guys may be experiencing that okay, so it could be a thing that God is silent, right? Because he does go silent for different reasons. That's the whole recording within itself. But for some of you, it's not even that he went silent. It's that he's trying to get you to understand that he's trying to get you to hear from him in a different way. When we say things like we go from level to level, glory to glory, like that grows us up, right? That's just not physical blessings or things like that. That's also God growing us up in the spirit. Excuse me. So because many chosen ones are truly being accelerated right now, he's trying to grow you up. Why do you think he's been calling you to that secret place? That secret place is designed for many things, right? It's designed to give you details and instructions, if you will, pull you away from distractions, development. It almost like be very, very discerning if he's calling you to a specific secret place. This can look like a place where no one else goes, but it's just some kind of solitude, some kind of way that, he needs to talk to you or like get downloads to you. But the more we grow up, we can't be limited in the way that God speaks, even if we're conditioned to believe that. For prime example, right? I've always heard, I know completely better now, but I've always heard growing up that the only way God speaks is through the word. Like that's it. And so here's the thing. That's not true, because first of all, here's why. When you just start answering the call, right? When you start walking this journey and this path that's designed specifically and intimately with you and God, when you first start, you're so confused, like nothing really makes sense. Of course, this is not for everybody, if you will. This is not for everybody because some people were like raised in church, and I mean they were at church 50,000 times per week. Bible study 80. So they understood certain things very early on. That's not the case for everybody. This is why you have to be very careful when you're putting your mouth on people and saying that a person should be further along in this process, or a person is doing this and that doesn't look like God. We all have a process. The most important thing you can do, or we can do, is to concentrate on our own, because there's going to be some things that God tells us in the secret place within the personal, intimate relationship that only the Holy Spirit can convict us. But people will try to do the conviction. So when you first start out, the Bible may be very confusing to you. Honey, for me, it was literally Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. Nothing made sense. And then I would feel like, is there something wrong with me? I don't understand, because people are saying, no, it's the only way you can hear from God. But me being a person who always, and I mean all caps, always have stood firm in my own beliefs in what I believe, I knew that the internal prompting was so very profound and so very peaceful that I knew it had to be God, because those weren't even things that I would even think about for myself. I would be wanting to do something else. And here comes this internal prompting and this nudging internally that you know is God saying, do this, don't do this, go here, don't go here, this, that, and the third, right? Walk this way, don't walk this way. Like he trains you. And then as you grow, he may be calling you now. All right. You can no longer hear from me this way. This is when you were on the, what do you call it? Oh my goodness. My Bible scripture people, please help your girl out on milk. I knew we had milk on our mouth. I don't know. Right. Where now, because you're growing, right? This can even look like some people who only hear from the word, and now it's like he's silent on you. He's silent on you when you read your Bible, but then you're feeling this prompting to get to some kind of secret place. That can be your closet, honey, with just you and the Lord, right? That can be nature trails. That can just be wherever. But you have to be fluid. You got to be flexible. God is a moving God. So now that He's grown me up, we still got all of us have a long, long, long way to go, if you will. But now it's like, oh my, the Bible be having me shouting because, like, and don't get me wrong, I'll still have the internal prompting first, where I won't. Okay, so in the past I would have it first all the time, 100%, and then trying to understand the word at that point, it would confirm certain things. Where now there's times where it's the internal prompting first, and then there's times where I'll have a heavy conviction. I don't care if I'm woken up in the middle of the night, right? Go open the Bible, and I mean it. Sometimes I want to drop it. I would never, but that's how, like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, right? Because He's growing us up. This is why, too, planting seeds is important. And I'm not even speaking anything financial, just planting seeds in general. I'll give you a perfect example. I knew God was calling me to understand the Bible, right? Because it all ties in, obviously, the more and more we grow. But honey, it was still the Charlie Brown's teacher. Well, I mean, I would try, and I was like, something got to give, because... And so I remember talking to Pastor R.C. Blakes about it. It was the Mordecai mission, actually. And he prayed for me in regards to understanding the Bible. But then there was also a prompting to plant a seed. And that's when I presented him and Bishop Sam with the oil painting of their father passing the torch. Now, mind you, hear me well, it was never like an exchange of, okay, you give an oil painting and you will understand the Bible. That doesn't even make, no. It was just a conviction to present the oil painting. Oh my God, I just got a revelation for myself just now. Oh my goodness. Child, so presenting the painting, I'm just getting this literally. Presenting the painting in their hands, literally, in this very private office. It was an exchange. It was an exchange because soon as I got back from New Orleans, it's like things just started to, when I would read the Bible, I would just, and now that I'm thinking about it in real time, it was an exchange. This is why obedience of planting seeds is important. A lot of people really don't understand it. Again, it doesn't have to be financial. It's about a conviction to whatever it is that God is directing you to do, because if things happen to be in exchange, certain things can open up a new season for you. Like, for example, the person who planted the seed in the missionary work that we're doing for Christmas, I don't even know who this person is. Now, please hear me and hear me well. If I know who you are, meaning like I speak to you on YouTube, I just didn't recognize your Cash App name, because of course many times the names are different than what it is on YouTube. So I don't even know who this person is. Make yourself known if you choose. But when I saw that Cash App, they sent $50. When I saw that Cash App, when I saw the name, the very first thing my spirit says was, boom, new season. Now, I don't even know this person, right? I don't even know their situation. But in fact, I commented in the comment section of that video and stated what my spirit felt. New season. New season. Whatever that is, new season. God is growing us up. Those of you who've been putting the work, now this is not for everybody, because we got to be real. Everybody wasn't putting that work in. And when I say work, honey, those of you who've been putting that work in, you know the hell we've been through in these last couple of years. You know, honey, like it's so heavy that you don't even feel like talking about it, because you don't even want to go back to that place. But you know the work you've been putting in, the discipline, right? The secret place, the pruning, You know everything you've been through. This is why you gotta listen, you gotta be so firm when it comes to people who don't understand your boundaries or who don't understand why you can't do this season, why you can't. You got listen, when you've been through so much, you don't even care. You stop caring. Where before you would try to people please or try to appease, because somebody's in their feelings or that, honey, when you go through enough fire and you know what you've been through and that person wasn't even there to help or assist or to understand, you stop caring and you have your eyes on the prize. So God is growing us up. And within this growing up process, what he's doing too is he's revealing different spirits to you. Now, mind you, you may have always had an idea of these spirits, but we're living these things in real time because he's exposing you to these things prior to taking you higher, prior to opening that door, prior to the new season. So these can look like, there's tons, right? But these can look like spirits of control, manipulation, monitoring spirits, familiar spirits, spirit of lust. Quick insert, no pun intended. If a person is dealing with the spirit of lust, I don't care if it's a man or woman, honey, there's nothing you can do with that. If a person is dealing with the spirit of lust, that is nothing you can handle and there's nothing you can do about that. That person's going to always cheat. I don't care. Listen, and please keep your kids from around them, period. If a person have no self-control and no discipline, we're not speaking desire and attraction, a spirit of lust, you know what it is. Stop bringing people around your children. I don't know who this is for. So different spirits, monitoring spirits. Guys, chosen ones. Now, most chosen people, at least the ones that I really know who, no disrespect to nobody who doesn't do this, but the ones I know, I should say, have always been private people. Now, granted, there are some chosen people who literally, they're called to live their life as an open book, right? It is what it is, right? But most chosen people, and that is not a call on your life, are private, never to be confused with secrecy. But please understand, as a chosen one, you got to understand the kind of call in your life that's going to bring a lot of hate, a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy. People will hate the way that others love you. People will hate the fact that it seems like when you fall, you always get back up. Right? Like, why is this light on you? Why do you attract so many? Like, people will hate that. And the crazy part about it is, if they only knew what you had to go through. Dr. Umar and I spoke about this last year sometime. And I know that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, honey. Right? We're not going to even get involved in that because I'm not talking specifically about him and whatever he got going on, or what people say he got going on. I'm speaking more so less about this particular topic. Not only if people know what you had to go through to get it, they don't even know what you got to go through to keep it. It's heavy. But because they're not living the heaviness and under the weight, then they want to judge. They want to judge because it's something that they themselves never did. And so they don't even understand the intricate details and the things you've come up against. And so they judge from afar, or they hate you from afar. And they have no idea. If they knew how heavy it was to attain and sustain, they would feel sorry for you. But they would have to have a heart, right? To feel sorry for you, right? God is exposing you to spirits because that same chick that you love. Here's another very disappointing thing. As chosen ones, like, we love genuinely, we care genuinely, like it's just innate in us. This is the way God made us for our purpose and our calling. And it's very, very hurtful when you genuinely love and care the way you do, and then heartless or soulless people literally betray you or have the complete opposite for you. Okay. So, sis, now this ain't your girl over here, because one thing your girl don't play is like, I ain't never had no bunch of girlfriends, right? I got about I got 3 solid friends, and I got probably about 4 associates. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody's not your friend. So, sis, that clique that truly you love, and please know where you are, honey, because don't go side-eyeing your girls. right. This ain't for everybody. But that clique that you love, and I mean you support, you show up for everybody, honey. Honey, you at everybody baby shower, everybody, honey, I'm talking about you cooking from scratch, honey. And you genuinely are loving on and praying for, and this chick want to screw your man. Try me one time. I'm having a flashback, and I don't even know why, because it never happened to me that I know of. Right? But something just rose up in me. Because who, honey, have you ever, honey, who, if you ever, is on, and I'll repent after the fact. Kizzy, okay. Bro, it's a lie. They lied to you. Bro before, you know the saying, bro before. And men won't beef behind it. Listen. Listen. It depends on that woman. Absolutely. Why would men fall out over a mud duck? Why would men fall out over a bird brain? Even if she's fine. But let it be a certain type of woman. Let it be a rare type of woman. You think your boy, your homeboy, your buddy, whatever, you think he won't throw you under the bus. Okay. Chosen ones, you gotta know. You gotta know what you carry. You're not rare. See, our problem is we don't see, and I'll be the first to say it, we don't see ourselves the way people see us. So sometimes we be clueless. Like we just think we're normal. I mean, we are normal, but there's so much grace and favor on us that I don't think we see it. You know when I see it, you know when I recognize it, like on a daily basis, we don't see it because we're just being who we are. But it's more so less prominent when you're speaking to a person or when you walk in a room. I don't care what, honey, I don't care what a restaurant, what a room. When you walk in the room, it's almost like it's like a domino effect of just heads turning, mouths open. And we're not speaking from a physical thing, because I mean, you got that too, right? Especially with men. Men are just men. But it's different. It's this, when you walk by, they feel your spirit. It's like, who the hell is this? Or again, when you're speaking, like when I was on vacation and I was invited to dinner by this beautiful family, I was speaking on, actually it was more so less something with purpose and calling and how my career ties into it. It's a long story. Get the book. No, just not a plug. Just, it is what it is. And I can remember the men, well, both, everybody, but 2 of the men in particular. It was the way they were almost like in a, I don't use the word trance, because that's definitely not the word, because trance is kind of like intrigued, inspired, in awe, face frozen, to a point of like, yeah, we may have all this money, billions, probably, I don't even know. We can have all this money, but it's something more deep than money. And I got to learn how to tap into that. Right? Very inspired. So this is when we notice it. I'll speak for myself. This is when I notice it, right? When you're speaking to people and they're just staring at you like you're a ghost almost, right? Or when you walk somewhere and people feel your presence. Or when you hear people say it, like people say things and you're just like, girl, I don't even know what you're talking about because like I'm trying to figure this thing out too, right? Like you sitting here like amping me up and I'm grateful and I'm thankful, but do you know what I've been through this week? So I don't even feel it or see it. But I think it's God's way of keeping us humble, truly. Humble. Humble. Don't get it twisted. There's a difference between confidence and cocky. People who are not assured of themselves are dealing with their own identity issues. They tend to want to see people who are confident as cocky, right? A lot of people see Coach Prime, Deion Sanders as cocky. He's not cocky, honey. That man just know who he is. That man just know he might be a little flashy or whatever the term is, the people flamboyant or whatever, I don't know. But that man is not cocky. Coach Prime is a man who know who he is, period. That's just an example I throw out there. All right, so to these spirits, and see, your little feelings are going to be hurt, right? This happened to me in April. Honey, my little feelings were so hurt because I finally, for the first time in my life, was led by a familiar spirit. For the first time that I know of, I should say, at least as I, in this season, led by, it was very, very quick, but it had me in my feelings because I'm too tapped in, right? But your girl missed something. And I was really in my feelings about this thing. I couldn't understand. And then God had to reveal it to me. And I hope this helps you to understand why someone had to betray you, or why someone had to lie on you, or why someone had to, I don't know. Somebody just didn't do right by you, period. The next level is major. The next level is major because we are going into end time assignments, meaning however it is that God uses you is going to be amplified. So if you're somebody who's had the ministry of prayer, like it's amplified. So now you're not just praying over people in your physical church. You're praying over ministries of 200,000 people. That's different. You got more spirits. You're being open and around more spirits now. Spirits that maybe you never even experienced until this last betrayal, this last familiar spirit, this last monitoring spirit. So God is showing us things now. So we be in our low feelings because we're fleshly beings and we want to like bust somebody's head to the white meat because you tried me. And it has nothing to do with that. It's part of your training. He's growing you up before the next season. So now that you've experienced a familiar spirit, a monitoring spirit, a spirit of lust, a spirit of narcissism, a spirit of this, whatever the case may be, honey, you will know it when you get to the next season. You will know it the minute you see it. This is why people who've dealt with narc abuse, they can spot a narcissist very quickly, right? So the things that you've been exposed to, you now can recognize it. But how could God ever like get you to really understand it until he exposes you to it? So take your feelings out of it. Take your flesh out of it. If you've just recently been betrayed or manipulated or lied to or just whatever, if you've been, it's part of your training process. It's part of your test. You had to pass this test before you're elevated. Please, whatever you do, don't retaliate. Keep your hands free. God, remember, this is something that God orchestrated, allowed for your training, to grow you up. So then wouldn't it be more than right for him to deal with the person? Because he allowed it, right? He didn't cause it, but he allowed it to help you, to advance you. So wouldn't it be more than right for him to deal with the person who betrayed you, who lied, manipulated, stole, whatever the case may be? Keep your hands free. Keep telling yourself it was part of your training process. Keep telling yourself if it didn't happen, it would have held you back because you couldn't be promoted because you never got exposed to it yet. Many of you guys are literally going to have a fresh start. Now, some of us are being elevated, right? We're just going from like we're currently at a, how can I really explain it? I guess physically, like we're at a level, right? We're at one level. Let's just say we're at level 10. Right? I'm just throwing numbers out there. Let's just say you're at level 10. Many chosen ones are going to go from level 10. Like typically we might go from level 10 to level 11, or maybe from 10 to 12. But many chosen ones are going to go from level 10 to like 17. Because of the amount of warfare and the amount of fire that was built, the training process, the discipline, the growing up process, everything that we've been through in these last couple of years. So it's almost like we get to skip some levels. If we were in alignment and we were doing the things that God called us to do, where others are starting, like it's a new start, meaning this looked like everything in their physical life have just been turned upside down. They've lost a job, they've lost a marriage. I don't know, maybe their kids are now grown or off to college. Like all hell was broken loose, right? And you may think it's a midlife crisis. You may feel it's a midlife crisis, and not to say that it can't be that per se, but this is a restart for you. This is a restart. But the difference with this, the difference with this, because a lot of the times with restarts, right, you lose it, and then you got to go through years and years just to gain it back. With this restart, you lose it, you're going to gain it, but it's going to be with acceleration. So once you enter the new season, once that door opens, once that season shifts, you're going to meet your new spouse right away. In fact, you may feel like, I'm never doing this again. I would never get married again. Well, first of all, nobody told you to marry that man or that woman to begin with. God was never even in that. So don't bring God in that foolishness. In fact, God may have told you not to. And we make our head hard. And now we want to be like, I'm never getting married again because all men are this way. All women. No. There's a certain kind of man you need, sis. Oh, there's a certain kind of man you need, sis. And God done show it to you, honey. Discipline, peace, vision-minded, patient, right? Secured, safe. There's a certain kind of man you need, sis. So you may feel like, oh, I'll never do it again. Honey, when you clash with this man, that whole mindset is going to leave you. Be careful with your wording. Don't reject things out of just ignorance or out of fear or out of trauma, right? You don't want to speak certain things. You want to always, even if you really feel that way, you don't want to ever speak against something because you don't know what God has for you. And so now you're rejecting a certain kind of blessing or a certain kind of person who needs to find you. You're rejecting it and it's going to be rerouted somewhere else. Be careful with your wording. So it's a new start, but again, there's acceleration with it. So you won't have to go through the whole working a 9 to 5 for 3 years in order to buy you a new living room set. No, it's going to be given to you. That's acceleration. That's favor. It's going to be given to you. Things are going to be given to you. Lastly, If God is convicting you more and more and more and more to remove that spirit from around you, move it. Where, yes, it's true, we have power and we have authority, right? Play with me, honey. I will trample over. Child, find somebody else to play with, demon, right? Yes, we have that authority. But a time will come when he don't even want it around you anymore. And you will know. Don't move too quick. Just still sit with it, meaning if you got to still live with that person or work with that person or whatever, sit with it, right? Just you got to sit until you hear. Wait until you get not only revelation, but confirmation. And he will make it very clear to you the direction that you need to take in order to remove yourself from that spirit. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.